You're trying to mess up my intro already.
Yeah, that's right.
I see how it is. Welcome into the Grown Man's Podcast. I'm rolling with it.
You are, okay.
You messed it up. I'm not going to redo it.
I thought for sure I was going to throw you off your game.
That's the way we're going to do it. Okay. As you just heard, we are here podcasting on Monday night. Beautiful Monday night. A little bit of rain. You probably had to drive through it on your way over at some point.
I didn't catch any of it.
Really? Wow.
Look at that.
But we're here podcasting for you, and we are here with the Razor of Anarchy himself.
Oh, yeah.
The blue shirt wearing T-Bone.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen you wear a blue shirt before. No, I don't think I have.
I'm sure that must.
It matches your pagoda hat pretty well.
My old piercing pagoda hat, huh?
Yep.
AKA my Patagonia knockoff Tractor Supply
I'm going
hat.
to call it Pagonia forever.
No, you call it
Pagoda.
Pagoda.
I can't talk today.
Hattie, what a show this is shaping up to be, man.
What a show.
Here I was thinking I was just going to throw you off. We're going to restart. You're rolling with it. You're bringing up the old blue shirt, even though I probably wore a blue shirt here last week.
I don't think I've ever seen you wear a blue shirt.
I wore a blue polo shirt when we went golfing just last week.
Well, you know what? I don't look at what you're wearing when you're golfing. I'm concentrating on beating you in golf.
Oh, man.
Which, so far, 2-0 this year.
So...
Made a nice, 70-foot putt, 65-yard putt.
It was at least a 65-foot putt. Yeah, 65-yard putt, yeah.
Best putt of my life. I was real happy.
It was an uphill. It was a challenging putt, too. People are going to get sick of hearing us talking about golf here on this football
It's like
podcast.
Any kind of general sports. I mean, if people like one sport, you usually at least, even if you don't like it, you at least, can appreciate the sport of it. I do.
Golf.
I like all sports.
I think there's a lot of people, a large faction of people that just don't get golf.
Well, maybe not watching it, but playing it's fun.
Oh, playing it's the best.
I don't really care watching it. It's pretty boring to watch.
I can put it on if I plan on taking a nap for the day. Like if it's like a lazy Sunday and, I just want to sit inside in the air conditioning, I can put on PGA, admire how good they are, drink a couple beers, and pass out.
Yeah, I like Roy. What's his name? Roy. Seems like it was M. Roy something, and I like Tiger Woods. I used to like Tiger Woods when I was younger.
Yeah,
I can watch them for a whole and appreciate their good shots, but then it's boring for me, and I'll change it.
Yeah.
Same thing with a couple other sports.
Yeah.
I'll watch it for a few minutes and be like, oh, that's kind of cool, but don't really have a favorite team or golfer or player or whatever.
Golfer.
So
I just love when they're to the point where they're putting backspin on it to get it to roll towards the pin. If it's a short green or something, it's they're on a whole different level. It's I'm hey, maybe I can get it to leave the ground.
Maybe I can get it to leave the ground and go straight.
Yeah, that'd be really good.
That'd be real nice.
Yeah. Now we're not nearly that bad, but nowhere as near PGA golfing either.
No. But
we never will be.
Getting some practice in this year.
Yeah. Trying to anyway.
Yeah. Something else that we're practicing is that social media. You have been out there on the Twitter land trying to get rile up the masses.
That's right.
And you can interact with us on Twitter, as always, at Grown Man's Pod, Instagram at Grown Man's Podcast. And if you would like to be a grown man, you can do so by supporting the show over at patreon.com/grownmanspodcast. And we thank all of our Patreon supporters that support the show and keep us going, keep us happy, and that's what we do.
Yeah, we
and
really
you,
do appreciate
obviously play with little brass pieces from my mic stand.
There was no way that you were going to leave this here and I was not going to be playing with it throughout the entire show today.
I know, I was actually cleaning off the table a little bit before you got here, and I got to that, and I was like, Tommy will probably fiddle with that during the podcast, so I'll leave that there for him.
I will inevitably drop it on the table at least probably 2 times during the show, making a loud noise where we'll both look at each other and be like, "Oh."
Should we cut that or should we keep rolling?
Yep.
The answer is keep rolling.
Oh, always got to keep rolling. And if the people that are listening, if anybody here is a new listener to the show, welcome in. We appreciate you. There's so many podcasts out there. You could have clicked on a myriad of different podcasts, but you clicked on this one. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's a new thing. I'm going to add that to my intros every time. Thank the new listeners. I like it.
It's a good thing to do.
We like all the new and old listeners here at the Grown Man's Podcast. But we're drinking a delicious whiskey that you brought over.
Yeah. What
are we drinking today?
Today we have a semi-local distillery here. It's from up in Honeoye Falls, New York.
I've been there.
Have you? To the distillery?
No.
Oh, just the town?
Yep.
It's a nice town.
It is.
It is Grist and Saw Empire Rye. And it is a 96 proof whiskey, and we'll get into all the ins and the outs of this whiskey and the whiskey tasting after the music at the end of the show.
The show after the show.
The show after the show. That's right.
Yeah, I'm sipping it right now. It's
quite nice.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah,
Get
I
our
saw
review
it.
at the end.
I went in to get a bottle of whiskey a couple weeks ago. I ran out of my Jim Beam, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try it. I've been buying just regular Jim for a while. I'm gonna branch out a little bit again here, and so I saw that one. It's got a nice label on it. It caught my eye on the shelf.
Yeah, I will say for a local distillery, like if you buy a lot of local things, they come in the same bottle.
Yes.
Like if you've noticed that, this one's actually got like kind of a...
It's like a medicinal...
Yeah.
Almost looks like an apothecary bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks kind of neat. It's a little different styled. It's very... a lot going on in the fonts they used on the front, too.
Yeah, it's very, very
like
custom.
I like it.
Yep. They definitely did not just go into Microsoft Word and type that sucker up and then print it out on computer paper. That's for sure.
And I was going to say it had a real cork, but it's got one of the synthetic ones.
Yeah, it's got one of those rubber corks.
But it's got a nice little wood topper. I like it.
It's a nice little bottle.
Well, let's say we get right into the NFL news because we have a lot to cover.
You know what I'm going to use this bottle for, Hattie?
Your mouthwash?
No, I'm going to put some apple cider vinegar in there.
Are you?
Yeah, it's a nice... Couldn't you see apple cider vinegar in that bottle?
I mean, sure.
Yeah.
But somebody might go over to your house and see apple cider vinegar in there and think it's whiskey and pour in a big old glass.
It's good for the gut. Good for your gut bacteria.
That's what they say.
I don't drink it.
I have before.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I can't do it. It smells gross.
So it does. My wife actually made, like, for a little while, she made like some lemon, honey, like some spices in the apple cider. It's actually real good.
Yeah, if you
it's supposed to do something that's supposed to be really good for your stomach.
You zhuzhed it up.
And it does taste very good. Like,
Yeah.
legitimately, like, you smell it and you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to drink this.
Sour.
But if you just stop breathing,
Oh.
smelling through your nose, it actually tastes really good.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think that's cinnamon.
Yeah?
Maybe some nutmeg. I
That's
don't really
interesting.
remember. She made it, so I don't know.
I made some black beans last night. Put some cinnamon in it. They were delicious.
I'm
Put a little
not-
brown sugar in them too.
I'm
just
not
a little
huge
bit.
fan of the brown sugar, cinnamon, black beans.
Well, it was just
It's a food that's not supposed to be sweet.
It wasn't that sweet. It was mostly spicy.
All right.
But I put those in just to slightly balance out the spiciness of it.
What'd you have the black beans with? Like a good Mexican night? Some
Yeah,
tacos?
I made
Burritos?
some enchiladas.
Ah.
Yeah, some chicken enchiladas with the chickens that we grew and butchered ourselves.
Yeah.
And
But
then-
they're real tasty.
Delicious. We did thighs and legs, so it was all dark meat and real. That's the white meat's good. It's nice and lean. It tears apart easily for stuff like that. But the thighs and the legs are where it's at when it comes to the flavor. Flavor Town.
I disagree.
You disagree on
Yeah,
that?
I like the white meat.
I do too, but it's something like that where I'm not eating it like as a whole thing. It's like something that's shredded. You can't go wrong with the dark meat because it's, what I hate about the dark meat portions of the bird is the difficulty in eating them in a whole piece of meat. You got tendons and bones and stuff to stick around.
So you can like shred it and
Right,
have
so
it all in a dish.
She
That
put
makes
it in
sense.
the Instant Pot and cooked them down, and then I shredded them up off of that, so you don't have to worry about all that crap. Then you just get delicious, flavorful meat.
I had Mexican this weekend.
Yep.
Went
What'd
to
you
a
have?
restaurant. It wasn't that great.
No? That's always a disappointment.
We went away for the weekend since our first plans of going someplace warm and tropical or beachy just wasn't the right time for that. So
Where'd you go?
we went shopping.
You haven't told. You told me you were out of town, but you didn't tell me where you went.
Went shopping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anywhere local?
Woodbury. So kind of localish. A little over 3 hours away.
Which direction?
East.
Oh.
It's towards New York City. It's like 40
Okay.
minutes out of New York City,
Gotcha.
but not New York City.
Yeah.
So no Corona land.
Yes.
And it's all outdoors, like a outlet, so
Yeah.
you walk out all outside. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So you want to get into news, Hattie?
Oh yeah.
News.
Get out of here with it.
Hey, got it.
All right. Why don't you start us off since you have so many news items and you're so excited for the news?
Oh, I love the news. I love that drop on the news. Whoever does that news drop is really knocking it out of the park.
I know whenever we get a news drop from our music person, I mean, I'm not calling him out by name or anything, but whenever that happens, that'd be awesome.
I mean, he is an absolute skilled tactician of sound drops and music, all things music related. So we should give him a shout out because Wes does an absolutely amazing job.
Who you're talking about?
Wes.
I don't even know who this person.
Ah, he's amazing. Does a great job.
He is. He does.
We really appreciate it, Wes. Thank you, man. Even if Hattie doesn't, I do. First thing I got up on my news segment here is Redskins, or the Washington football team, as most media outlets are now referring to them as. They're still the Redskins, so that's I guess what we'll call them. They are in the process of a name change. The owner there had said that they will never change the name of the football team. and apparently all it took was Nike pulling the sale of their products and FedEx pulling the naming rights for their stadium. Money talks, I guess, is the moral of the story. Not that good wins out or that people are protected from bad names, but that money rules the day.
Yeah, I actually heard that the three stakeholders in the team, besides Dan Snyder, I believe, are all considering pulling out.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Yep. When that much money is on the line, I think something is going to happen.
Yeah. So it's a pretty good chance of it.
Hey, we should write in to Dan Snyder and be like, well, we'll be part owners of the team.
Yeah.
Let's go.
You know what, Hattie? We could pool our money from the stock market there and,
I mean, I don't know if you've checked it lately, but
it has been rough.
It's real red right now.
If you listened to, maybe 3-4 episodes ago, me and Hattie were bragging about how good we were, how smart we were at investing, and then literally, I think the next day started a month-long
like
decline.
A month-long line of double-digit losses,
yes.
like percentage-wise.
Yes.
Like 8,
very,
10,
very
14,
steady losses. So
8, 12.
It has not been the best for that. And you know what? That's okay because those, you're going to have red days.
Those are going to go back up.
That's right.
That's at least what we keep telling
really,
ourselves.
really hoping. Anyways. Oh, Lordy.
But you know what? It's all right because we can be on the golf course on a beautiful day talking about the stock market.
Yeah.
And whether it's red or green.
That's right.
The grass on the on the golf course is always green.
That's true. That is true. That's a green day regardless of how the stock market
exactly.
goes. Yep. All right. You want me to do another one?
Yeah.
Right.
Do like 3 of them.
All right. Next thing up here, the defensive lineman for the Chiefs, Chris Jones, and Yannick Ngakoue, defensive end for the Jaguars. Both are still not signed on their franchise tags, and it is looking like it is moving in the wrong direction. Does not look like they're going to get something signed here this year. They both are threatening to sit out the year, so might have another Le'Veon Bell situation going on with those two important defensive pieces. And for the Chiefs, anyway, they really can't afford to lose defensive pieces. So it'll be interesting to see what goes on there.
Yeah.
You want me to go another one? Oh, I got a good one here. This is a Packers-related one for you.
Ooh, I love Packers-related news.
You'll love this one. Your favorite new player, Jordan Love, has signed his rookie contract.
Oh, yeah, I did know that. Yeah,
so,
I saw that.
Now they don't have to worry about...
Fully guaranteed.
Well, of course, it's a rookie contract. They're all fully guaranteed. But it is the person that you are putting your trust in for the rest of your Packers fandom is now signed and ready to go.
All right.
Signed, sealed, delivered.
So you know that the Packers are the only organization to draft 3 quarterbacks in the first round with an MVP on their current roster.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting.
Isn't that interesting?
Who was the last one?
Aaron Rodgers.
It was Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers. I mean, Jordan Love was drafted with Aaron Rodgers MVP. Mm-hmm. Aaron Rodgers was drafted. Brett Favre was an MVP. And before that, Bart Starr was drafted when... I think his name was Dan something. Was on the team, and he was an MVP when they drafted Bart Starr. So,
gotcha.
Tradition.
Yeah, pass it on.
Yeah, pass it on. We talked about this in another episode.
Yes.
They've been very, very good for many, many, many years, but never really make it all the way. Well, my first one is the NFL Players Association wants to vote on canceling the preseason entirely. We already know that it's down to 2 games from 4. But yeah. They want to eliminate it altogether. And I actually think, with everything that's going on, why play 2 preseason games? If, an outbreak actually does happen with the coronavirus and all that kind of stuff, or something else happens, that has the potential of 2 meaningless games, actually delaying or suspending or...
Real games.
Real consequences could happen for real games.
Yep.
I know... The preseason is important, especially for rookies and for your rosters, figuring them out, where players are. I get it. But in the current situation, I think it'd be smart to just cancel the preseason and go right into the regular season. You can do a lot of stuff in training camp. I mean, coaches are always doing stuff. Yeah.
So do you think in that scenario that they delay the start of training camp, the 4 weeks, to accommodate for that you go, delay training camp 4 weeks, and then go right into the regular season out of training camp or get an additional 4 weeks of training camp?
I think they'd extend training camp,
Yeah.
which I think they should because that would help out with actually finding out your rosters.
Mm-hmm.
I delay it a little bit, maybe somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
Delay it by 2 weeks.
Give them an extra 2 weeks?
Let players go into the gym and that kind of stuff, but not actually practice.
Right.
And then give them a couple extra weeks of actual practice.
Yeah.
Kind of split the two.
Okay.
And go right on into the season.
Yeah, I mean, as long as the season starts, I don't care what we have to lose as far as meaningless football games or a couple weeks of training camp.
Because really, what is exciting in preseason?
Just the football starting.
Yeah, it's exciting that football starting, and
Yeah.
usually you like to see your new guys,
Right?
Your actual rookie draft class.
And-
I would like to see Jordan Love play a few downs,
Right.
see what he is.
That's what
see
it
our
comes
new
down
running
to.
back, our new tight end. You want to see those players. Are they going to help us this year? Do they have potential, or are they just terrible and going to get cut in a couple weeks?
Yeah, what it comes down to is, do you have a new quarterback on your roster that you want to see how he plays in a real game against people that are actually trying to hit him? Because
I mean, it's not always just the quarterback either.
I think it's mostly the quarterback.
No, I like to see all my rookies.
Yeah, of course you do, but I mean, as far as
a quarterback's the most important position to know.
You're looking for when the Jets have a new quarterback, I really want to see what that new quarterback looks like. Because it's the first time that you're seeing him against, quasi NFL talent in a scenario where they're actually trying to hit him and take his head off,
Mm-hmm.
And so in that scenario, it's different than training camp. That's your first real look at how that player is going to play in game situations against better talent. And so, yes, of course, with any rookie, you're going to want to see them play because they're the new players on the team. You want to see how they play. But there's just something special about quarterbacks, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, they're the most important, and
Yeah.
you get to. If they're on offense, you get to see them play.
Right.
If you're watching a wide receiver, or a running back, or a linebacker, they're not on the field the whole time, or they're situational, or if they're a wide receiver, they might not get the ball that play.
Yep.
A quarterback's pretty easy to watch
Right.
and see. Did he go through his reads? Did he do the check down? Did he
Yep.
actually try to run the play? Did it break down? What did he do when it broke down?
Right.
There's a lot more stuff to watch with a quarterback, and it's a little bit more exciting.
It means nothing. I mean, even watching those things, preseason literally means nothing. It's just, a little bit of experience for them before the season starts, for rookies essentially. But other than that, it really doesn't mean anything. So you're not losing anything.
True.
And for that reason, I'm not that bummed that we're going to lose it. I mean, I think we're probably going to lose it.
I think there's
We might play 2 games.
I think there's a huge potential we play 1 or none games
Yeah.
in the preseason.
I agree.
I mean, I would actually really like to watch our wide receiver that we drafted, the real talented. Oh, wait. No, we didn't draft him. All right.
I would like to see Denzel Mims because we did draft a good wide receiver. But you know what? I'd also like to see him play in regular games, which he will play in because, he's a good wide receiver on the team. So I don't have to wait, years to see that. I'll see it during the regular season. I don't have to expose the team to unnecessary risk just to see that when I'll see it in a couple weeks.
Yeah,
That's
true.
how I feel about it.
So what are your next news items?
Antonio Brown has been working out with Russell Wilson. Apparently, the Seahawks have been rumored to be working with or thinking about signing Antonio Brown.
Oh, it's going to happen.
I think probably that Antonio Brown is there on some kind of sabotage mission to get Russell Wilson probably sick with the coronavirus just so that he can, talk about how weak and pathetic he is for catching the coronavirus. That's something that Antonio Brown would do, in my opinion. So that's probably what's going on there. But, maybe he's just trying to get back into football shape.
Oh, he's trying to get back into football.
Could be.
I think so, and I think he's going to get signed by a team this year.
I don't want him on my team.
I wouldn't want him on my team either. He's super talented, somebody will take a chance on him.
But he's also bat crap and Satan. So.
Look at Josh Gordon. How many times has he been in and out of the league with various issues?
Yeah.
And people keep getting him back.
Yeah, but the way that Josh Gordon exits a franchise, much different than the way that Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown leaves a wake of wreckage.
Correct.
Yeah.
But you sign one of those guys, and history tells you could potentially have problems.
Yes.
Very high likely you're going to have problems.
Yes.
So he might not be there.
Likely,
and still teams take the chance.
Yes.
Because of their talent level.
Yeah, there will be somebody who has a superstar wide receiver get injured and probably, be interested in signing.
You know what? At this point, I wouldn't mind if the Packers got him. Like, any talented wide
Way
receiver
to stick to your guns, Hattie.
in that house, I would want.
Way to stick to your guns.
I know.
So disappointed in you.
I'm taking him away because I just want a talented person.
Yeah.
Like one talented wide receiver please come to Green Bay.
I mean, you
Let's
have
not name Devontae Adams.
You got Devontae Adams. I mean,
you can't just throw to him all game.
He's a number one. Most teams don't have more than one number one receiver.
I mean, they at least have like 2 number 2s or a number 2 and a 3. We have like a number 1 and 5s.
You don't have 5s.
5s.
You don't have 5s.
They wouldn't make.
What a whiny.
I think
baby.
like 3 of them wouldn't even make other teams' rosters.
Little titty baby is
the
what
other
you mean.
one might be like a slot guy.
No.
Yep.
You're crazy, Hattie.
Nope.
Absolutely crazy.
We have 1 and like 10 5s.
You're out of your mind.
Prove me wrong.
I just did. I said you're out of your mind.
Nope.
Yep.
All right, that's your last one there.
All right. Last one. Well, second to last one. I guess we'll probably both talk about the.
Yeah, we're going to both talk about the last one.
David Njoku, tight end for the Browns, has requested a trade. Very unhappy with what's going on there. I believe that they signed Austin Hooper. Could be wrong about that, the Browns. But he is no longer happy in Cleveland, wants out of there. And I guess that it's not looking likely. They are selling him, you're going to be a part of the team here this year. So could get ugly there.
Yeah, they could. I mean, they paid. They didn't bring in Austin Hooper, making the highest paid tight end in the league, to not use him.
Right.
So I think David Njoku, unless he turns out to be an absolute stud, then he is probably on his way out of Cleveland. Whether it's this year or next year, I would trade him. I think he's a good trade target. I think you can get a 3rd round pick for him, maybe a 4th, or another player of a position of need or injury that you have throughout the season. Yeah, why not use him if you? I mean, you
I think
paid
he's
Hooper
talented.
a lot of.
I think Njoku is a talented tight end.
Oh, for sure.
So I think that there is probably some kind of demand for him. I think they could get something for him, but evidently they are intent on keeping him there, maybe running some 2 tight end sets and stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see what the offense there looks like with the Kevin Stefanski.
Yes.
Calling plays there.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's your last one?
Yes.
All right. So now we get to the big news item of the day. Everyone knows what it is.
Yep.
Patrick Mahomes signed a brand new deal.
Yep.
10-year extension worth up to $503 million. So $500 million.
Yes. So the
Billion
extension,
with a
the extension
B.
plus what he already had coming from his rookie contract.
Yes, so this is an extension. It's a 10-year extension, and he has to fill out his 2 years left on his current contract. So it is just an extension worth up to $503 million with $477 million guaranteed. So he is signed throughout 2032, and he will make an average of $44.2 million per year. Slightly north of 44.2. Yep. It's like 44.216, blah, blah, blah. But it's 44.2 million per year for Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
I mean, you see the other quarterbacks, what they're getting paid. Patrick Mahomes is on everyone's list as a top 3 quarterback, probably the best in the league.
Yes.
At least 1 or 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think right now it's maybe a couple million, like more than what I would have anticipated if he got like a 4-year contract. I would have imagined, like 4 years, 40 million, somewhere in that range is what I was thinking probably. But, by the end of 10 years, and again, I don't think that's going, I think before 10 years is up, that he will get, there will be more contract negotiations to come. But it's a way of locking it down, making sure that, he's going to be in the building. It's a show of faith saying, we believe in you, that you're going to be the guy here for the next 10 years, which that's important to a lot of these athletes. Yeah. I mean, you got the best quarterback in the league. It's great. You got to be happy.
At least a top 3.
Yeah.
Like any argument that anybody has, Patrick Mahomes is in the top 3. And you have him through 2032. That is fantastic. And you have him for 44.2. Everyone was pegging his contract between 42 and 44, which is about all what the analysts were like predicting that his contract would be. So it's 0.2 above what everyone was predicting. But yeah, I mean, you have him like. That contract is going to look pretty good in 2028.
Oh, yeah.
When we just looked this up. He was 32? No, 20.
He is 24.
24.
Yep.
So,
32.
I know. In 6 years, he's not even going to be, he's going to be 30 years old. Not even 30 years old. He's going to be in his prime.
Yep.
$44.2 million is going to be looking mighty good.
Oh, it's going to be a steal at that price.
8 years. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, Chiefs factor all this into their contract. They're like, we're going to lock you up X amount of years.
Yep.
12 in this case. It's a long time. And, yeah. I mean, they have Andy Reid signed. They have a lot of talent there that's under contract.
You got to be feeling good right now. If you're Patrick Mahomes, you're feeling good. If you're Andy Reid, you're feeling good. You got your guy locked down for so long. If you're Chiefs fans, you're feeling good because not only do you have him under contract for that long, but he wants to be there for that long under contract to the point where, he's taking such a long deal that by the end of that deal, he would be a steal at that price.
Yeah. I think this is a very friendly contract for Patrick Mahomes, that they appreciate him. They want him there, make him happy, but I also think it's a very team-friendly deal with 44.
Unless he suffers an awful injury, which can happen.
I mean, he is guaranteed $477 million.
Yes.
No matter what. But horrific injuries that make you not play are very, very rare.
They are rare.
They are rare. Alex Smith was the last one that's taken him out for a couple years.
Yep.
And he keeps saying that he's coming back.
He ain't coming back.
Which, whatever side of the fence you're on with that.
I'm on the reality side.
Yeah, he's probably never going to play again.
Yeah.
But he could get to a point where he could potentially play again.
He almost died.
Yes.
I mean, from a leg injury, he almost died.
But those things are extremely rare.
Yeah.
He could have injuries, and he probably will throughout. 12 years in the NFL. There's very few quarterbacks that ever didn't have an injury for 12 years. Even Tom Brady missed almost an entire year.
Yeah, we had one year where he missed the season. And
he missed a couple games here and there as well.
Not really.
He had a couple of years where he missed a game or two.
I mean, he by and large he played the entire time.
He's no Iron Man Brett Favre, but
he's pretty goddamn close. Let me look.
He is. He's very reliable. I will tell you.
I'm going to look up and see how many games he played throughout the season.
But in 12 years, you are probably going to get some missed games in that time.
Yes.
Statistically speaking.
Yes.
But yes, I think it's a very good deal. The one thing that I wanted to point out, since we have a little bit of time here, how do you think this affects Dak Prescott's contract negotiations with a long-term deal? We know that he signed the franchise tender.
I don't think it affects it at all.
We know that he wants to sign north of $40 million deal. Now that Patrick Mahomes has 44.2, where do you think? Obviously Dak Prescott's not going to make 44.2.
Correct.
That is impossible.
Yeah, no, it's not even come close.
It was rumored that he wanted 45.
It's not even come close. It's not going to come close in length. It's not going to come close in dollar amount because Dak Prescott is not anywhere close to Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, he's not a top 10 quarterback.
Dak
Prescott's not a top 10 quarterback.
Dak Prescott is around, top 8 to 12 quarterback.
Yeah, he's in the middle.
He's
15.
He's around that range. But
probably 12.
But he's just not. It's not going to happen. They don't have the money for it. I don't think they have the desire to sign him like that. And just real quick to circle back to Tom Brady. Tom Brady, once he became the starter, he missed in 2008. He missed all but one game.
Okay.
And then other than that, he never missed a single game except for his 4-game suspension for Deflategate.
He played 16 games every year.
Every single year. Except for Deflategate when he was suspended the first 4 games.
All right. Wow. So he missed
19
games throughout his career since he was named starter.
15, yeah. Yep. Well, the first year that he started was the year that Drew Bledsoe got hurt, and so he played 14 games that season.
All right.
But, yes.
But
once
every
he became
season,
the starter,
he's missed 19 games.
Yes.
Total.
Correct. And only 15 of them were from injury, and it was just in one season.
And 4 from cheating.
4 from cheating, yes. So that's crazy.
That is crazy. I didn't actually know. I thought he missed a game here and there.
No,
I could have swore he missed a game.
He was the pinnacle of reliability.
Because he's went out before, like at halftime or something, and went out and sat the rest of the game.
Not really.
I've seen that happen.
He maybe,
but always came back.
Maybe a couple times. But he's always been healthy. Like that's what the most frustrating thing about stupid Tom Brady is that you never got a half a season without him in there.
Smart quarterbacks do go down.
Yeah.
Look at Peyton Manning. He was an old man, and there were some times where he would do like a bootleg to the opposite side where he couldn't see, and he'd turn around and see a guy there, and he would just fall down into the fetal position and be like, "All right, you got me."
Yep.
And it looks ridiculous when players do this, but hey.
Stay healthy.
They're more important to be in there than they are to take a big hit and be a man.
You look at Patrick Mahomes last year getting injured at the very beginning of the season with his knee injury. Remember that?
Yep.
Looking at that now, you're like, all right, let's be a little bit more careful with the guy we have under contract.
And that's why I've always been a little leery of the running type quarterbacks, the Lamar Jackson. Like, I think Lamar Jackson is insanely talented.
Yeah.
But I think coaching and the team should really take that, like, yes, use your talents. If you are great at running, but if you need to slide and not get 2 yards, slide and not get 2 yards. Do not take the hit.
The thing with Lamar is that he is really, really good at just not taking direct hits. Like, all of the hits that he takes, and if you look at them, they're all glancing blows. Like, he's just really good at manipulating to be able to...
At one point, it's not going to be a glancing blow.
That's true.
And that's the blow that's going to take
he will
an MVP.
Extend. Yes.
I think, like, you got to train that stuff, too. Yeah. But, like, just don't get the extra yard.
Right.
Like, just the slide or get down and just take a normal tackle. And
I think that will come with age.
It does.
Yeah, I think that.
But I mean, you look at like a Cam Newton. Mm-hmm. Obviously, he was more of a bruiser than Lamar Jackson was.
Yeah,
like he would run right at you.
Right.
But he was great. He was an MVP in 2015, I believe. Mm-hmm. And ever since then, very subpar.
Yep.
And he's had nagging injuries and injuries here, and like all the different issues that he's had. Mm-hmm. If he slid one time for not to get the extra 2 or 3 yards, he might still be great.
Yep.
But then he just goes through all these injuries.
That body takes a beating when you're constantly getting hit, because you're a running quarterback.
Same thing with Deshaun Watson.
There's a reason that almost every running back, no matter how good they are, is done playing by around 30 years old.
Yep.
Very few exceptions. You got your Adrian Peterson and your Frank Gores out there that are still kicking around, kind of at a reduced level. Mm-hmm. But by and large, around 30 years old, you're done as a running back.
I mean, that's why
you take those hits.
Yeah. I mean, you look at the average amount of time that players play in the NFL, and running backs is by far the shortest.
Right.
And that's why we're seeing that they're not getting paid like they probably should get paid.
Right.
Like, those players are very important to a team, but they kind of like use you, abuse you, and sayonara, go to another team for a way less contract and have a couple of moderately successful years somewhere. And then you're
if the team's
kind of done.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Adrian Peterson obviously is the exception.
Yep.
He's still playing. But Adrian
Frank Gore's old as crap.
Yeah.
And by that, I mean, I think he's 34 years old. And I think old as crap.
I think Frank Gore's older than 34.
I don't think he is.
Really?
He might even be 33. He might be my age.
It seems like Frank Gore is older than that.
I know it does because, for somebody to be a running back for that long... Yeah, he's 37.
All right. That's more in the realm of what I thought he was. Okay.
37.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty old. I mean, you're a 37-year-old man, and you're trying to, run and get tackled by...
He just turned 37, though. So,
all right, so he played at 36 last year.
Yes.
Yeah. Still was pretty successful.
Yeah, I mean, not anywhere where he was, but last year he had 600 yards.
I mean, you think about it. At 36 years old, I mean, a lot of quarterbacks, until the last few years where you had, like, your Tom Brady's and Peyton Manning. I think Peyton Manning retired at 38, 39. I don't think he was 40. I think it was 39.
39 or 40.
Okay.
He might have got to 40.
Which is a very unusual exception.
Yes.
Tom Brady, like we talked about him, he's 42?
Tom Brady's 43.
43?
Yeah.
So, I mean, most players don't last until 43. Yeah. I mean, the oldest player was like was a kicker for a team. It was like 40-something.
Tom Brady's going to be 43 in a couple weeks.
All right.
Yeah.
So he's going to play this year at 43. But, I mean, like, mid-40s for a kicker was like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, mid-40s is very old for an NFL player. Mid-30s is like usually your prime, and then you have until like 37, 38 if you're lucky, and then usually you're retiring by that point in time in most positions.
Yeah. I mean, Adam Vinatieri, a long-time veteran of the league, has been kicking around. He's 47 years old. 47. He's creeping up on 50, man.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's a position that you don't really take too many hits.
No, it's not.
You're really just walking up and kicking a ball, and that's it.
True, but at the same time, I mean, just the act of doing it, that's a lot of torque and tension you're putting on your back and your knees and stuff, and they do get hit occasionally.
I mean, occasionally, but 5 times a year they might make a tackle or have to go down and get
look
blocked.
Look at what he looks like.
I know.
He's an old man.
He looks like Santa.
I know. He's an old... I mean, if you Google him, Google Adam Vinatieri, you'll find pictures of him with his beard there on the sideline. It's like... He is an old man who's still playing.
I mean, there's a lot of golfers out there who are golfing in their 50s, and that's a lot of torque on your body.
But that's a zero impact sport.
Yes, it is. But I mean, if you're taking just the act of kicking,
those elderly PGA players on the senior tour, they are not playing the younger guys.
True.
Because even in a no contact sport, time just takes its toll. I mean, just the fact that he's playing at 47 years old, I think that's amazing. That's absolutely incredible.
No, it definitely is.
I mean, he's been playing since the early 90s, mid 90s.
Yeah. Incredible.
Out of control.
Mm-hmm. So, I think so one of the most incredible. I know it's basketball. You're gonna hate it.
Oh, Hattie.
But Vince Carter is the only player in basketball history to play in 3 different decades.
Really?
Yep.
Wow, that's wild.
So very old, very successful younger career, and just been an average player since then. But
yeah,
kind of incredible. Played 3 decades in a sport.
Wild.
Is unreal.
It is.
Like when you look at all sports, I mean, he's the only player to ever do it in
incredible.
basketball.
Yeah.
I don't know if any other sports, probably in like golf or NASCAR or something like that. But
Adam Vinatieri is about to be in 4 different decades: the 90s, the 2000s, 2010s, and 2020s. 4 decades.
It's incredible.
That's incredible. I mean, that's so wild. And speaking about basketball, the only thing I have to say about basketball that I found interesting about basketball was that the shortest player in basketball history and the tallest player in basketball history both played at the same time on the same team.
Yao Ming and Muggsy Bogues.
Muggsy Bogues, yes, but not Yao Ming. It was some really, really tall black guy. I don't know. I'm not sure what his name was.
All right. I know Yao Ming was 7'6".
Maybe he wasn't the tallest ever. Let me Google it really quick.
All right.
Tallest NBA player.
Because I think Muggsy Bogues was the shortest player.
Yes.
He was like 5'10", 5'9", something like that. He was pretty short. Like shorter than me. Shorter than you.
Manute Bol is who I'm thinking of.
All right. How tall was he?
Manute Bol was 7'7".
Okay. So you got Yao Ming by an inch.
Yeah.
Well, I guess there's some like 15-year-old high school kid that's getting NBA interest.
Yeah.
Because he's like 7'7" or 7'8", and he's
Really?
like 15 or 16
That's
years
insane.
old.
Just looking at the guy out on the court, like it just looks like how does this guy not break his legs? Look at his legs. They're like toothpicks and they're like 12 feet long. It's like, how does that guy not break legs?
Hey.
Isn't that crazy?
And there's still bones in there.
I guess, but he's got to be able to like reach the hoop and just like put it in.
Oh yeah, Yao Ming could just dunk it without jumping.
That's
just
crazy.
Like reach your hand up and dunk.
That's insane.
It is insane. Way tall.
It almost seems like it's like a cheating thing at that point.
The giraffes of the human world.
Do you know there's an NFL rule that you can't put like a really tall, like there's a height limit for a guy that you can put to block field goal kicks?
What?
Yeah.
I never heard of this rule.
Yeah, there's an NFL rule that you can't be a certain height back on, like how they always have a guy that goes back for the field goal in case it's short.
Yeah.
That you can't have him above a certain height for that.
That seems unfair.
Oh,
I mean, again, they like
if it's to prevent a 7'7" guy, has one job, and that's just staying back there on those kinds of things.
Oh man, but Bill Belichick would go hire this 7'7" basketball player. I'd be like, we just want you to block kicks. That's all you need to do,
and pay to get like leg extensions.
We'll pay you like $2 million just to do that,
right?
And be like, all right,
yeah, why not?
Why not?
I'll look it up sometime, see if I can find the rule.
Yeah, find that rule. That's interesting. I want to maybe bring that up some point.
Yeah.
But that does it for the NFL news. We're going to move into covering the AFC West in our series of division breakdowns.
Yes.
Next. Welcome back to our AFC West divisional breakdown.
Welcome back, huh?
Welcome back.
They haven't gone anywhere, Eddie. We went there.
We gave them a good musical interlude.
Oh, okay. Welcome back from the music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome back. We're going to be covering the Chiefs.
Welcome back.
Man, you interrupted me today, don't you? Getting right in there.
Getting under your skin, Eddie?
No. We're covering the Chiefs, Broncos, Raiders, Chargers. Who do you got Last place.
Now, this is a hard one.
It is, kind of.
This is difficult because
I can see it going a couple different ways.
Because clearly the Chiefs are winning the division. You know, I think that's pretty obvious.
We'll get to the first one.
Yes,
we're not there yet.
We will. I mean, spoiler alert, I guess I should have said. I don't know. But the other three teams in the division, it was very difficult, I think, to decide, really who was going to. What I did was I ran through, what I've been doing each week is running through the schedule for each team and just doing a really quick preliminary, win-loss. And so the team that came out on bottom for me was the Broncos.
Really?
I have them at 5-11.
Wow, the Broncos.
Yeah.
Oh, man, your buddy Wally over there, friend of the show, on the show.
Yeah, my good buddy.
Yeah, he's going to be disappointed in that analysis.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen, but yeah, I mean, with Drew Lock as their quarterback starting out, I don't have a whole lot of faith in him. And, I mean, they play in a semi-challenging division. They have a schedule that doesn't really lend itself to them being great this season. And 5-11 is what I came up with.
All right, so my fourth place team is not the Denver Broncos. It's the Los Angeles Chargers. I think the Los Angeles Chargers have a super rough schedule.
Yes.
I think worse than the Broncos. They have a rookie quarterback starting there. They do have some talent on their team. I think they have a more talented team than the Broncos. I like the coach in Los Angeles a little bit better. And I think the Chargers go 5-11 and take the last spot in the division.
So both of us are saying that 5-11 is going to be the bottom of the barrel for the division. It's just a matter of who's the name next to it.
Yeah.
I do think that the Chargers have a lot more talent on that team, and I think that talent is going to be able to carry them. I think that the quarterback situation is about on par there. Maybe a slight advantage to the Chargers because, unlike the Broncos, I think that the Chargers have a capable backup in Tyrod Taylor. And so with that talent there and the defense that is, very adequate there, I think the Broncos are going to be the bottom of the division, but it could go either way. But next up, who do you have for third spot?
Third spot, I have the Los Angeles Raiders.
Las Vegas?
Yes, Las Vegas. Yep. I said the Angeles. I don't like the fit in the pieces that they have there. I don't know if they're completely sold on Derek Carr. I do like Josh Jacobs there a lot. I just see their season could either be a 7-9 season or kind of an imploded season at 6-10, which is where I have them 6-10 in third place in the division. No buy-in on a franchise quarterback in Derek Carr doesn't bid well for a franchise.
True.
They don't really have a lot of wide receiver help. I know they drafted.
They got a couple pieces.
Henry Ruggs.
Yep.
He has promise, but we've seen rookie wide receivers the first year usually are not.
Takes a little bit of time.
The greatest. It takes a year for them to get into it. There's no 1,200-yard wide receiver coming out of college and being a rookie.
Not usually.
So I think they're a year away if they buy in on Derek Carr, and this is not their year. And third place in the division. They're also moving to a new city, new location. Home field might not feel like home field. It might be a little bit too big for the players they have. And 6-10.
Okay.
Third place.
Yeah, I have the Raiders in third place also. I have them at 7-9. Again, same exact things that you were thinking about there. They have some talent in the pipeline, but it's got to be developed. Not entirely sold on Derek Carr. They were trying to get Tom Brady there, which means they don't believe in Derek Carr. That's kind of got to stick in the crawl of Derek Carr. They're in a new city this year, new stadium, fans situation. Who knows how that's going to be? I don't know. I think they'll be middle of the pack. 7-9 is what I got them down at. So
all right.
That means you got Broncos then at second place.
Yeah, so I have Broncos in seventh place at 7-9 in second place.
Yeah.
I think Drew Lock is going to surprise a lot of people this year. I think he's more talented than people give him credit for. He's in his second year, full season. I think he's going to have a little bit of jump in talent. I like the coach there. And I like a couple of the other pieces that they have around Drew Lock, and I think they can do a lot. I think they're going to be in second place. I don't think the record's going to be necessarily good. I think it's going to be 7-9. Their schedule is real tough.
Yeah.
I mean, their first few weeks they play the Titans, the Steelers, and the Buccaneers. I don't think they're going to be favored to win in any of those games. Later in the season, they do, they play the Dolphins. They play, obviously, a couple times versus the Raiders and the Chargers, Panthers. I think they can squeak out 7 wins. I might give them 6 and 10.
Okay.
For a real record, and then have a tiebreaker with the Broncos and the Raiders, but they're going to be around that range. But I just think that the talent of the team is higher than people think, and I think Drew Lock is a little bit better, so I'm giving them a full game over the Raiders right now.
Okay. I got the Chargers second place on my ranking here, and I've already talked a little bit about them. I got them at 9 and 7, and I think they're too talented to be below a 500 team. They got a lot of talent on both sides of the ball. And, the quarterback situation, it is different this year, not having Phillip Rivers there. But the Phillip Rivers that was there last year, I don't think he is a far cry better than Tyrod Taylor. Now, I don't think Tyrod Taylor is going to be the starter this year. But I do think that...
I think he will for week 1.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Justin Herbert might have some adjustment time. I wouldn't be surprised at all if that's the case. He will play at some point this year because first-round quarterbacks always play.
Yep.
The number of times that a first-round drafted quarterback has not played, had some starting time in their first rookie season, it's essentially Aaron Rodgers.
Barring Aaron Rodgers getting injured, Jordan Love's not starting.
No, he is not.
But, Aaron Rodgers could get injured and he can start. But,
yeah, he could. Although I think that even if he was injured, he'd probably still insist on playing just to prevent him from getting in there and trying to take his job away from him. But yeah, so I have Chargers number 2 overall, and that means that me and you both have Chiefs at first place in the division.
Yeah. I think the Chiefs are going to not be as good as people think they are.
Okay.
Everyone thinks they're a shoo-in for the Super Bowl this year, Super Bowl favorite. I don't necessarily think that's the truth.
Usually there's a drop-off after a Super Bowl high.
Super Bowl win. They have a
hangover.
I think they have a pretty tough schedule. They play a lot of tough teams. They play the Texans to open up their year.
Mm-hmm.
They obviously play their division, but they play the Raiders. They play the Patriots, which I don't think they're going to be particularly good.
Well,
but they play
Cam Newton, they're going to be better than they would have been.
Yeah, they play the Bills, which is a very tough defense to play against. They have the Buccaneers, which I think is a super talented team. They have the Falcons, which are they're a decent team.
They're no slouches.
They have the Saints.
Where do they play New England? In New England or at KC?
At KC.
So that helps.
Yes. And I think the Chiefs will definitely beat New England, especially this year. But I don't think the Chiefs run away with it.
No.
I think they are 11 and 5 and kind of disappointing. You have a Super Bowl team with high hopes. They just signed a quarterback to a huge 12-year contract extension. And, 11 and 5.
So who do you think, who are the 5 teams you have them losing to?
I don't think they beat the Texans week 1.
Okay.
I don't think they beat the Ravens.
Okay.
I think they lose a sneaky one to the Bills in the new era.
So there's 3.
I think they lose to the Buccaneers. Tom
Really?
Brady. I do.
I don't think
And I think they lose to the Saints.
That defense can't. The Buccaneers defense cannot keep up with that offense from KC. No
have
way.
you seen a Buccaneers defense is pretty decent, and that's late in the season when everything gets ironed out.
I do not. I don't.
And I have them losing to the Saints in New Orleans.
Yes, the Saints. All four of the 5 of those, I agree with you, could be losses, which is why I have them at 12 and 4.
All right.
So those are the 4 I had them losing. And other than that, I think we're right on the same thing there. They need to probably, their defense is the weakest part of their game. I would imagine that they're probably going to address it. They're returning, I think, 21 of 22 starters from last year.
Yep,
which incredible.
Incredible, but means their defense is not going to be very good.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
True. The Kansas City Chiefs are an anomaly for last year. If you look at the statistics of number 1 offenses winning Super Bowls, it's pretty bad. Usually defense and ball control and that kind of thing wins in the playoffs and in the Super Bowl. They're an anomaly. They're a one-hit wonder. We've had those in the NFL. Not that I'm saying that the Kansas City Chiefs are not going to be a good team. They are going to be a good team. They're not winning the Super Bowl next year.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think that the AFC is a fairly diluted conference, and so I don't see a lot of clear-cut challenges for them outside of maybe the Ravens. I mean, every year there's a new team that pops up and is, I am, a lion hear me roar kind of team that you wouldn't expect. But by and large, I do not think that they have a lot of competition in the AFC. And, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I think that it's not unreasonable to think they go back to the Super Bowl based on how things currently sit.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I think the Texans are a very good team.
Texans are a team that they're always pretty good, but they always fall short, and then they lost DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah, I think they're building a more solid team.
Okay.
And Watson has another year under his belt and is only going to mature. And I think we haven't covered him yet, but I think the Steelers are also going to surprise people this year.
Okay. You think Big Ben's coming back with a fiery fury?
I think Big Ben's coming back, and they're going to play better than. I think they're going to make the playoffs.
You think he's coming back with a fiery fury, Hattie?
I think Big Ben's going to come back and be Big Ben. And that's better than what they've had last year.
Did we ever cover when Big Ben had his little thing where he spoke out about his challenges that he's faced in the past? Did we cover that?
I don't know I don't even know what this is.
No?
Nope.
Must be we didn't cover. Must be that was one of the weeks that we didn't have a show. Big Ben at I don't know what the heck it was, like a Christian retreat or something. That Mike Tomlin was sponsoring, talked about how he had to overcome an addiction to pornography and to alcohol. So,
those are two very real things for a lot of people.
Of course it is. I don't know if as a quarterback in the NFL, I would want my quarterback during his playing years coming out saying that, because all that does is open you up to ridicule. But
yep. You pretty much just keep those things
at least
a little semi-private.
Yeah. But I guess, trying to do the right thing. But
hey,
yeah, maybe his mind's focused on doing other things outside of football, helping people overcome problems.
Yeah, maybe he's a better person.
Yeah.
Well, let's get right into the questions from our listeners.
Yeah.
A good little section. We got a question from
we do.
Someone this week that T-Bone is pulling up right now.
A new person.
Ooh, new listener, I like it.
Yeah, so this one's not football related.
Okay.
I kind of like the non-football related questions.
I do too.
We could just sit here and chew the fat a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Chewing that fat.
Got to chew that fat. This one comes from Mark North at North _1016. Wow, that was a
I screwed
tough
that
one
up
for me to get
multiple times.
Many a time. Mark North asks, social media is liking, commenting on another female's posts, not flirting, or is it enough reason to break up? So, a little relationship advice here, Hattie.
Oh, wow.
I didn't tell you about this one before we started.
You didn't tell me about this one.
I probably would have been a good idea to tell you about, to let you think it over and get an idea. I'll go first since I got it earlier and I had time to think about it.
All
right. So the question was, is liking and commenting on another girl's post flirting or enough reason to break up? So what I would say, Mark, is that when it comes to that, if there's other issues going on there where your significant other is upset about it, then, you should probably just go ahead and, be reasonable about it and not comment. And, I think it could be flirting. I don't think liking a post is flirting. I think commenting could be associated with flirting. What do you think, Hattie?
I think
why is this one difficult for us? We're both like blushing here or something.
No, I was laughing at a text message.
Okay.
This guy. Yeah, I mean, if your significant other is jealous over you liking and or commenting on another person's post, maybe they're not the one for you. They need to get over it if they're that jealous.
That's your stake.
Yeah, that's my stake. I think if you are talking to another person, that it is whatever. You can have friends of all things, and if they don't trust you enough to go on social media and like and or comment on a post, as long as you weren't like, oh, love you, babe, can't wait to see you next week.
That would be wrong.
Obviously, that is flirting.
Yeah.
But if you're just like, hey, that was cool, whatever that you did, or congratulations, or whatever the case of the post was, if they get upset about that, then maybe they're not the one for you.
I was thinking if it's a every time they post something, you're commenting.
Sure.
That is where it kind of
maybe then
that crosses over into the flirting.
Maybe then it could be in flirting. Like if you're going on there and they're posting 100 times a day, and every one of them you're liking it and being like, "Oh, that was great."
Oh, so, looks like so much fun.
Then maybe.
Yeah.
But liking or commenting on a post is definitely not flirting.
Yeah. Not in and of itself in an isolated instance.
Correct.
Yeah. But as is the case with so many different things,
there's a lot of circumstances to look at. Yeah. Like in the case if they post 100 times a day and you're liking all 100 of them and commenting on all 100 of them, maybe there's something there. Mm-hmm. If they post like twice a day and you comment on one of them once in a while.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that I don't think is. But, I would also say if you really like the person that's offended by it and you want to keep them, then, maybe don't do it. Because is you commenting something stupid on somebody's post that you're not interested in being in a relationship with, is that more important than the person that you are in a relationship with? I don't think so. There's
a lot of ways to take that as well.
Yeah.
If they're that picky, do you want to spend the rest of your life with them?
Yeah, that is true. That's a good way to look at it.
But it's all up to you.
Yeah.
And yourself and how you view everything.
Yeah.
But in itself, I do not think that it's an issue.
Is the juice worth the squeeze?
Is the juice worth the squeeze?
That's a good question to answer when it comes to anything.
If it's a rotten lemon, no. If it's a beautiful, delicious mango, then maybe.
Then that does change things sometimes. If it's a delicious exotic mango, but you just got to keep those things in mind. When you're picking fruit out, I guess. Yeah. Maybe we're veering off the girlfriend boyfriend. We're just going to the fruit aisle.
We're going to the fruit aisle.
You got a table full of fruit right now. Hey, some of them are beautiful exotic mangoes.
You always gotta squeeze the melons and see if they're what you want.
Yeah, if they're ripe or overripe.
Yep.
That's true. That's
you want to be perfect.
Good advice. Yeah. Yep, that's true.
All right, and that does it for our show this week. We thank you, everyone, for staying in and listening in to us. We really appreciate you, especially the Patreon members that support the show, just like you can over at patreon.com/grownmanspodcast, on Twitter at grownmanspod. We really want to hear your questions, like the one that we had this week.
Yes.
We love covering a variety of different subjects, football or not, and over on Instagram, grownmanspodcast. And we appreciate you. And we will see you next week and in the show after the show.
That's right. Coming right up. Roll the music, Addy.
Welcome in, and thank you for sticking around for the show after the show, the whiskey review. And we got a local whiskey-ish, New York State whiskey that we're trying today that T-Bone got, and we're doing a little sipping of it.
That's right.
Told a little bit.
Got.
Yeah.
Yep.
We got told you a little bit about it at the beginning of the show as T-Bone knocks his mic off his stand.
Yes.
What are we drinking? What are we having?
Today, as we mentioned, is Grist and Saw. Empire Rye. It's a straight rye whiskey, 96 proof. And, like I said, it comes from the beautiful town of Honeoye Falls, from Honeoye Falls Distillery. And, it's a rye, very rye forward in the nose.
Yep. A very New York rye.
Yes. New York ryes have a very distinct, spicy, corny rye nose and flavor.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, some of the nose notes that I got from it, and mine I poured at the beginning of the show and let sit. So you re-poured for the tasting.
Yes.
So we were able to see there's a pretty distinct difference between this one as far as letting it sit a while before drinking.
Yes, it was about an hour.
Yeah.
When you poured yours, mine was fresh both times, and it definitely. I think it's better after an hour.
Yes.
In myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so if you're going to have a glass of this, maybe pour it and then have a beer or something. Or, run down to the store and, I don't know. Get some pizza or whatever.
As our good friend Jeff would say, Let that wine sit.
Yes. Okay. I thought you were going to say just put it in your mouth and
suck on
suck on it for hours and refer to beef jerky.
Yeah, I actually get so mine. I tried it before, and I poured a little bit more before the whiskey tasting, so I didn't really have the time in between.
Right.
So this is fresh out of the bottle, I guess. Yes. I get a little bit of sawdust. It's distinctively a New York rye.
Yes. Very woody.
You got that corn, the wood. That's all there. I actually got like a little bit of lilac.
Yeah.
And a sour apple and lemon.
Yes.
On the nose. So actually, in my ranking, I think the nose is the most pleasant thing that I had it reviewed as. Because I do like the nose. There's a lot going on. It's a little sharp. I give it a 4.5 for the nose.
Okay. My nose. It's gonna be a little bit different because I ranked mine on the glass that I had when we were doing our review, which mine had sat in a while. So the nose on mine, I gave a 7. Just because it had mellowed out a lot and a lot of the flavors and, I guess scents for the nose. But a lot of the depth to the nose comes out when the whiskey sits a little while. So, I got the citrus, I got the vanilla, some amaretto came through even after letting it sit. So the nose is, a nicely complex nose if you let it sit. Mouthfeel and smoothness, I gave that one a little bit of a drop down. I gave mine a 6.
Okay.
Which, even after sitting for an hour, it's still got a little bit of spiciness to it.
Yeah, I think it's got a very alcohol forward, which a lot of the New York ryes do. It's not the smoothest. Yep. There is some sharpness there. I gave it a 3.
Yeah. So it might even, it's a 96 proof whiskey. A couple drops of water might help with, making it a little bit more enjoyable. I don't know. I could probably drop a little bit of water into it and give that a shot, but the water's 10 feet away from me, so I probably won't.
So we're not doing that.
Yeah.
So flavor, I think I said the nose was the best thing that I liked, but I actually ranked flavor higher.
Yeah.
I thought the flavor was fairly complex for a rye, especially a New York rye. Yeah. Usually New York ryes are very woody, corny, with a little bit of spice, and there's not a super ton going on, and this one's got a little bit more, which I do like. I actually get the oaky woodness, of course. Yep. The New York rye is a little bit in there. You obviously get the rye and the barley in the flavor. I got a little spice at the end, which you do. But the one interesting thing that I really got from it, like pretty distinctly, was lavender. So if you ever had like a lavender tea, you get that in this whiskey, which I thought was quite enjoyable. I gave the flavor a 5.
Okay.
I like kind of what I had going on there. I think this whiskey would be a lot better if it wasn't so sharp.
Okay. Yeah. So the thing that stood out to me on the taste and the flavor of it, it's got a nice sweetness to it. The oak barrel is definitely. I think the oak barrel taste is a little bit more prominent when you first pour it than after you let it sit. It's got like some herbaceous mint to it, like an actual mint leaf, not like mint extract, but like an herbal mint leaf. And the aftertaste, the thing that's coming through most prominently to me right now, is like a hazelnut coffee aftertaste. You get that at all?
I get more of the amaretto.
Yeah.
At the end, I don't get too much hazelnut.
It's like a hazelnut coffee.
Okay.
There's like a coffee.
All right.
Like I just got done at a coffee house kind of thing. Eat a little biscotti. So is that 2 weeks in a row that biscotti's made the podcast?
Maybe.
It might be.
I mean, I do like biscotti.
I don't think it was in the tasting last week because there was nothing biscotti-like about the whiskey we tried last week.
That is true.
That was a bad whiskey.
It wasn't the greatest. It's a mixer for sure.
It was a mixer. But yeah, so what was your balance and complexity? That's the next one. I gave it a 7.5 for balance and complexity.
Yep, I gave it a 4.5. I think there's a little bit more going on than most New York ryes.
No, you're tanking this one, Hattie.
I'm not tanking it.
This is like the scores you gave last week's whiskey. Are you sure you're not looking at last week's whiskey?
I am positive.
Okay. You like this one about the same as you like last week's?
Yes.
You're out of control. And aftertaste, I gave it a 7 also. It stays on the palate for quite a while. Like I said, it develops into a nice, for me, a hazelnut coffee aftertaste. So I gave it a 69.
All right. I gave Aftertaste a 4. I thought it was okay.
I'm giving Hattie a look right now, a knowing look that he's taking the piss here is what he's doing.
Yeah, it's not my favorite whiskey, I'll be honest. It's just not for me. New York Ryes don't usually
that you would
very well for me.
You're crazy.
I gave it an overall 42. I'm not saying this is a bad whiskey. I'm just saying it's not one for me.
Yeah.
That's why when I actually talked about it, I gave it some good talking points about it, being complex and has more than most New York whiskeys do with the lavender and the more herbal sides. But it's just not for me.
It's just funny. I'm laughing because you're notoriously somebody who values smoothness over
very much
almost anything else.
Very much, and this is a very not smooth whiskey.
It's a not smooth whiskey. Yeah, I would say that. It's not a smooth whiskey, but I think it's got a lot going in the flavor and smell department. And
I don't mind the smell.
Yeah.
It is sharp.
Yeah.
On the smell as well, though. I mean, if you offered me this at your house and you're like, "Hey, you want a little sip of this?" I would say yes.
My look of shock there is I've been playing with this brass thing that we mentioned in the opening.
Yep.
This whole time.
And you finally unscrewed it?
Well, I just realized that it comes apart into 3 different pieces. That there's an additional level of unscrewiness to it that I can play with. Yep. And let me tell you, so that makes me happy.
I think for most everyone, this is so. If you look at our key of whiskeys, we have it through 1 through 10. Where 1 is terrible, 2 is very bad, 3 is bad, 4 is subpar, 5 is average / okay, 6 is good, 7 is very good, 8 is excellent, 9 is select, 10 is perfect. I think this whiskey is probably an average to good, a 5 or a 6 whiskey, but as I value smoothness a lot, that drops it down to a subpar whiskey for me.
Okay.
And I think that fits right along with our key of whiskeys. This is not something I would buy or order, but it's good enough with the flavor and a couple of the other things. I really like the biggest thing that stands out for me is the lavender taste and the flavor, because I really like lavender drinks. I've had them, and that's one thing that I really do like about it. So that would probably bring it up for if someone offered it to me at their house, I would take it just for that. But I wouldn't buy this whiskey.
Yeah, I have mine.
Myself.
And the price, I don't think we mentioned it. The price on it was, I think, in the mid-30s. So
okay, so that's pretty average for a rye local whiskey, $30-$40.
I think it was 30. I want to say 32, 33 plus tax. I ranked it. I gave it a 69, which is between above average to very good. I wouldn't say I wouldn't say
Well, if it's 6.9, it would be in the good category.
Yes.
Just below very good.
Yes. And, a rye is a different thing. A rye is different. I don't grade a rye the same as I grade a bourbon as I grade a scotch. If a scotch had this level of bite to it, that would be something that I would consider as a detractor. You don't age them as long. That's just part of what the whiskey characteristics are for it.
I give them all on the same scale. No favoritism here.
You're an insane person. You're an insane person, Hattie. I would say if you like ryes, you'll like this rye.
Yeah, I think if you like ryes, specifically New York ryes, I think you'll like it. Yep. I think I really like the herbal lavender,
medicinally,
lilac flavor to it. I think the nose is pretty unique with the sour apple and lemon that I got from it.
Yeah.
There is things to like about it. It's got this is a whiskey that's got some high highs and some real low lows. And that's the way I view it.
Yeah.
I think it's got some very good redeeming qualities, but I think it's also got some bad points to it.
Yeah.
And I think that hurts it in its overall score for myself.
That's fine.
But like I said, I would drink this whiskey again if someone gave it to me. But
yeah, I probably won't buy it again.
I don't like the sharpness and the harshness of the flavor.
Yeah.
But there are points to the flavors in the nose that I do very much enjoy.
this is the. I haven't bought a lot of ryes. I think this might be only the third rye that I've bought, and maybe I bought 4. I know that I've had the Bullet Rye and the Redwood Empire Rye.
Yep.
And I would say both those ryes are better than this rye.
Yes.
Both of those ryes I would consider to be very good ryes, maybe even excellent.
Yep.
But yeah, this one,
I think we actually need to do a rye tasting.
I would love that.
Because I think the first 2 ryes that I ever tried was Whistle Pig Rye, which I like, and the Angel's Envy Rye, which was pretty decent.
I don't think I've ever.
I think you've had the Angel Envy Rye.
I don't think so.
Because I think it was in one of our tastings, but
I don't know.
Maybe not. So I had those 2, and I was like, ooh, I like ryes. But I've had several since, and I haven't been a huge fan of a lot of them.
Yeah.
So I don't know if ryes are a thing for me. If I just hit like the 2 ones that I happen to like the first 2 that I tried, and gave me like a false understanding. But I haven't been. I would say probably the last 4 or 5 ryes that I've had, I've been just kind of average on. Haven't really cared for them.
Yeah.
But 2 or 3 of them were a New York rye.
Okay.
So maybe I just don't like New York ryes. I don't know. But I think a rye tasting would be pretty interesting.
I would love that. We should do that.
Because
and there's a lot of ryes that I've seen that I would like to try.
Yep.
That, I probably won't get around to it because I'm more of a bourbon guy. And there's so many bourbons. That,
There's a lot of ryes, too. Rye is a big thing that a lot of companies are coming out with right now, too.
The fact that this one caught my eye, was just kind of a... it was right. It was at the right spot when I turned the corner, and it was right at eye level. So I just
advertising worked
right, and I was kind of in a little bit of a rush, so I didn't have all the time in the world to look around. And I was like, you know what, sounds good.
Yep.
So
it's not bad.
I like it.
All right. Well, that's our whiskey review. Thank you for tuning in this week, and we will see you next week.
Yeah, let's do it.